Good information. Thanks, Jen. And continuing coverage now in the Joe Bruno trial, the former state Senate Majority Leader facing federal corruption charges in federal court in Albany. The former state Senate Finance Committee Secretary Mary Louise Malek was back on the stand today. The prosecution witness telling jurors about the inner workings of how money was exchanged when she worked for Bruno. Our Matt Markham has our continuing coverage live right now from outside the federal courthouse in downtown Albany. Matt?
Dorian, another focus of this case, in a way, is nanotechnology, something very small in science, something that's very large to the case here, especially that's being built by the prosecution. And Mary Louise Malek recalled on the stand today that at one time the capital region went from 49 out of 50 for places that technology businesses want to set up to number 1.
Where would you create jobs? We focused on technology to create jobs based on my background and opportunities.
Senator Bruno had said he wanted to turn the capital region into the tech valley of the East. Connections and contributions to evident technologies form the focus of questioning to Mary Louise Malek. The former secretary of the Senate Finance Committee testified that she did the legwork to determine if evidence should be eligible for a state grant. She recommended a grant to Senator Bruno, and he said to move on it. The government pointed out in its case, though, that the grant money for evident technologies was announced just days after the senator became a consultant for Jared Abrazazi. He had a stake in that tech company. A higher up in another company, which sought the senator's work as a consultant, told prosecutors he did not know what Senator Bruno did to earn $120,000 or what written work had to be done to prove it. Later in the day, Frank Pluchowski took the stand. He served as counsel to the Ethics Committee and to the Majority Conference. On direct examination, he confirmed that he advised the senator to keep records, that he should not use Senate resources for private ventures. But Pluchowski also said no when prosecutors asked if a connection between Jared Abrazazi and Evident Technologies was ever made known. The case also talks of the sale of a worthless horse. One witness said with horses, their value can be subjective and can change overnight. The senator seemed to be somewhat lighthearted when he spoke to us after morning testimony.
So I hope you just report accurately and well, that's all. And if you need any help, I'm glad to be a consultant and make myself available, okay, in communication.
We do make every effort to be as accurate as we can. We sometimes recruit the help of legal experts like Paul Darneson to help us out. Thank you, Paul. And the first thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is this horse partnership that's been discussed throughout this trial. What's the significance of this, and what could it mean later on?
Well, the significance is the prosecution is arguing there was $80,000 due the senator on a consulting contract. And when the horse partnership ends, Senator Bruno is paid $80,000 for what they say is a horse that is virtually worthless. And of course, the defense comes back and says, that horse, you don't know what it was worth. It could have been worth a lot more than everyone thinks. Look at the Kentucky Derby winner recently.
And just a couple of seconds for this one, but the CEO of Motion took the stand today. That was one of the companies that was connected to the consulting firms that were paying Senator Bruno. That raised some questions about some other witnesses too, right?
Oh, that's right. We heard testimony today from his CEO. There was a lot of emails about what was the senator doing for this money. They asked, for example, their lead lobbyist, and he said, I don't even know who this fellow is, never heard of him. And I think he also raised questions about, was Abrazazi doing anything? Because the defense had been arguing that Abrazazi was involved with the senator in lobbying in Washington, and yet he seemed to question whether or not Jared Abrazazi was doing any sort of consulting like that.
Okay, same time, same place tomorrow?
You got it.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Matt.
you. We'll go back to the studio now. We'll be here again tomorrow with another update.
All right, thank you very much.